Simon Cowell is known worldwide for his razor-sharp wit and tough judge persona, but one hospital visit changed everything. When his young son received a diagnosis no parent ever wants to hear, the glitz of fame and red carpets suddenly lost all meaning. Simon vanished from the spotlight, leaving fans and colleagues puzzled. Simon rose to fame through blockbuster shows like The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, always commanding the stage with confidence. His company, Psycho Productions, shaped the careers of rising stars, and his work life was relentless. But in 2013, everything shifted. Simon began dating Lauren Silverman, who was married to his close friend, and soon their affair became public. Then Lauren announced she was pregnant with Simon's child. Their son, Eric Philip Cowell, was born in 2014, and with him came a profound transformation. Simon, once devoted to work and freedom, embraced fatherhood with fierce determination. He scaled back his career, choosing bedtime stories over ratings and red carpets. As Eric grew, Simon noticed subtle, unsettling differences in his behavior. These small signs sparked a deep concern, reshaping how Simon lived and loved as a father. His affection grew, but so did his awareness that Eric was not like other children. Approaching Eric's second birthday, Simon noticed something alarming. His son still hadn't started speaking. While other toddlers formed words and sentences, Eric remained mostly silent. Simon clung to hope it was just a delay, but deep inside, he feared otherwise. Every outing became a challenge for Eric. Loud noises, bright lights, crowds. He'd cover his ears or turn away. Simon thought it might be sensory overload, but it happened again and again, even in familiar places. Friends reassured him children develop differently, but Simon's gut told him something more serious was at play. A natural observer, Simon couldn't ignore the signs. Sleepless nights were filled with worry and endless replaying of moments. He dove into researching child development, searching for answers, but only finding more questions. Eric displayed remarkable intelligence, quick to spot details and understand far more than he expressed. But he communicated in his own way, through small gestures instead of words. Simon realized Eric was on a unique journey. His concern wasn't disappointment, it was love. He wanted to provide Eric with the right support and the space to flourish. Each small victory, a glance, a gesture, was a triumph. While the world saw Simon as the blunt, unyielding talent judge, his private world had quietly shifted. He stepped back from the spotlight to prioritize Eric's needs. A touching moment came on Britain's Got Talent when Eric pressed the golden buzzer, a carefully planned event designed to keep him comfortable. Behind the scenes, Simon adapted everything, softening the chaos, surrounding Eric with trusted faces. This wasn't just a change in attitude. It was a profound transformation. Simon reshaped his life and career to put his son first. Though rumors and online chatter swirled, Simon kept his focus clear, his son's well-being. Eric didn't follow the usual path, and that was perfectly okay. Simon sought expert advice, booked appointments, and continued learning, all to give Eric the best chance at a happy life. Every meeting with specialists brought new ideas, some hopeful, some raising more questions. But Simon pressed on, determined not just to understand Eric's condition, but to learn how to support him best. Simon, a man who built careers by judging talent and pushing for perfection, found himself learning from his son a completely different perspective. The most meaningful moments were quiet and private, simple routines where Eric felt safe to be himself. As rumors swirled in the press, Simon remained silent, choosing to protect Eric until the right time. His focus stayed on helping his son feel seen and understood in a fast-paced world. Then came the family trip when Eric was 4. What was meant to be a relaxing vacation quickly turned difficult. The noisy resort overwhelmed Eric. New foods, disrupted routines, and unfamiliar sounds triggered intense reactions. One evening, surrounded by laughing families, Eric froze, covered his ears, and rocked in his chair. Simon tried everything but couldn't reach him. That moment forced a hard truth. They needed help. Simon and Lauren reached out to specialists who carefully observed Eric over months. Then, in December 2018, Simon received the diagnosis, autism spectrum disorder. Though not a shock, hearing it made everything real. Eric's brain worked differently, with unique strengths and challenges. He struggled with speech, sensory sensitivities, and needed consistent routines to feel secure. But Eric also had remarkable abilities: sharp pattern recognition, strong focus, and an impressive memory. The experts described his condition as moderate, meaning he would need support, but had potential to thrive with the right environment. The goal wasn't to change Eric, but to adapt the world around him to help him grow. And while the diagnosis was significant, the real challenge was just beginning. Simon faced a new challenge: how to share Eric's diagnosis with the world. Fame was part of his life, but Eric needed privacy above all else. Watching Eric carefully line up toy cars, Simon realized his son wasn't broken. He was just different, and that difference was beautiful. The diagnosis helped Simon understand why he'd already begun changing his life, avoiding loud events, overprotecting Eric without knowing why. Now he knew Eric needed speech therapy, occupational therapy, and behavioral support. Simon stepped into a new role: student, advocate, and protector. Simon's life shifted dramatically. Fame, travel, and endless shows took a backseat to routine, structure, and meticulous planning. At their Malibu home, Simon transformed the environment, softening lights, reducing noise, and organizing every room to create a safe haven where Eric could truly thrive. Days were filled with therapy sessions, carefully arranged social interactions, and deepening the unique bond between father and son. Communication wasn't through words, but through looks, gestures, and small signs Simon learned to read. Progress was slow but meaningful. A new word, a longer hug, a shared glance that said everything. Simon began turning down work, entrusting projects to others, and often felt the loneliness that came with keeping Eric's world private. The outside world couldn't fully understand the weight he carried. Watching Eric sleep at night, Simon felt the full responsibility settle on his shoulders. He wasn't sad that Eric was different, but worried about a world that might not always be kind. Protecting Eric became his mission, building a strong, supportive world for his son, even if the public didn't fully understand. By 2019, rumors about Eric's condition began bubbling up in gossip columns and entertainment news. What started as whispers grew louder, adding fresh challenges to Simon's already demanding journey. Strangers made assumptions without knowing the full story. Some were well-meaning but misinformed. Others leaned on harmful stereotypes about autism. Simon felt a fierce need to protect Eric, torn between staying silent and speaking out. When a tabloid published intrusive photos of Eric, Simon broke his silence. He openly shared that Eric has autism and deserves respect and understanding. The outpouring of support was strong, but the public attention also brought pressure. Eric's private moments were suddenly under a microscope. Simon carefully balanced protecting his son's privacy with raising awareness about autism. He let go of old dreams of fatherhood and embraced a new life centered on Eric's needs, trading spontaneity for thoughtful planning. Though the journey was tough, Simon embraced Eric's strengths and found a deeper, wordless connection. His story reveals a different kind of fatherhood, one built on love, patience, and reshaped dreams. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon.